Ash's Pikachu is easily one of the strongest Pokemon within his entire universe, yet he's never evolved. And it's not like Pikachu hasn't been given the chance to. He's had multiple times where he was able to evolve into a Raichu for some really good reasons and some really bad ones, and I wanted to go over every single one of them. So we'll start off with one of the more interesting times all the way back in the Kanto region of the Pokemon anime, where Ash was versing the third gym leader, Lieutenant Surge. At this point in Ash's story, he's a pretty new trainer, not really having that many Pokemon and only having 2 gym badges under his belt, but his ace Pokemon is Pikachu. When they finally make it to Vermilion City, Brock and Misty warn Ash that this gym leader is a little tough, especially since he doesn't really have the type advantage against him, but Ash starts getting mad at them, saying that he'll be strong and beat the gym leader, so he goes inside the gym. When Ash entered, the aura was completely different compared to any gym that he's been to before, because when Lieutenant Surge came out, he completely ignored Ash, just talked to Misty, and didn't even acknowledge Ash as a challenger. Ash got pretty mad about this, and Lieutenant Surge was shocked that Ash is even a Pokemon trainer, and when he saw Ash's Pikachu, he started bullying him and making fun of him, saying that he has a super weak Pokemon and there's no way he's actually challenging him with a Pikachu. Ash starts getting really mad at Lieutenant Surge along with Pikachu, wondering why he's even bullying him in the first place, and then Lieutenant Surge reveals his ace Pokemon, a Raichu, the evolved form of Pikachu. When these two Pokemon met face to face, it was on sight. They had immediate beef, and Lieutenant Surge lets Ash know that if he wants to ever become a Pokemon master, he has to evolve his Pokemon to be strong. Ash argues he would rather have a strong connection with his Pokemon, and if they want to evolve, they'll do it on their own terms. So then the gym battle started, where they would have their battle of ideals, the winner being right. And to call this much of a battle would be a stretch, because when Pikachu went in to use Thunder Shock, Raichu smirked, and then used an even greater Thunder Shock, instantly one-shotting Pikachu. Ash was completely shocked by this and wanted to return his knocked out Pikachu, but then Pikachu got up, even though the battle was over, still wanting to fight Raichu and beat him. Then here we learn Lieutenant Surge is an absolute psychopath, and that he definitely fought in a war before or something, because he starts smirking at this and tells Raichu to go all out and to teach Pikachu a lesson. Raichu proceeds to beat the living hell out of Pikachu when the battle's already over, and even knocks him out of the stage. And then even when Ash thought it was all done, Raichu started charging up his strongest attack yet, blasting it straight at Pikachu, damaging him so badly he got sent to the hospital. When Pikachu woke up, both him and Ash were super pissed, since they got absolutely destroyed by Lieutenant Surge.
Pikachu got hurt pretty badly.
I can see that.
Brock and Misty tried to cheer up Ash, but he just got mad at them. When Nurse Joy walked in the room, Ash was even crashing out on Nurse Joy, telling her to just help him make Pikachu become strong. And this is when Nurse Joy offers Ash a solution, giving him the Thunderstone. With this stone, he would be able to evolve Pikachu into a Raichu, so he would be on even playing fields with Lieutenant Surge and they would be able to win the battle. Ash was pretty conflicted about all this, since if he evolved Pikachu just to make him stronger in a battle, he would be exactly like Lieutenant Surge and his ideals were correct. Ash wanted to make it a group decision with Pikachu, so he went ahead and asked Pikachu if he wants to evolve into a Raichu. Pikachu sat there for a second just pondering the decision and what was going on, and he ultimately ended up slapping that Thunderstone out of Ash's hand and giving Ash a prep talk. Pikachu was talking in Pokemon language, but Meowth was able to translate it for us, where Pikachu is basically saying he wants to stay as a Pikachu, and if he's losing to a Raichu, that's fine, but Raichu probably has a weakness that they will be able to overcome together. Now at first glance, it may just seem like it was Pikachu's preference to stay a Pikachu, but Pokemon Journeys actually gave us a pretty good reason why Pikachu doesn't want to evolve. In Pikachu's past, when he was a Pichu, he had a mother which was a Kangaskhan, and basically he had to end up leaving them because he was taking up too much of their resources, and he decided to evolve into Pikachu that day, since it was a significant moment in Pikachu's life, so I doubt he wants to evolve just willy-nilly to defeat some other Raichu. And honestly, this is pretty good, since I literally can't imagine a world where Pikachu is not the mascot of Pokemon, just like I can't imagine not using Surfshark, which is conveniently today's sponsor. I've been using Surfshark, which is a VPN that has become an essential part of my routine. If you're not familiar with what a VPN is, it creates a secure connection to the internet, hiding your IP address and encrypting your data. This keeps everything you do online private and secure, which is super important these days with all the data leaks that are going around. So whether you're on public Wi-Fi or just browsing at home, Surfshark makes sure your data is protected. The thing I find myself using the most is where Surfshark allows you to switch your location information, so you're able to watch content that may be restricted in your country. So if you're wanting to watch Pokemon Horizons, for example, but the latest seasons aren't available in your country, just use Surfshark and boom, you're now able to watch it. Surfshark works simultaneously across multiple devices, and they also offer a Surfshark alert, which lets you know if your personal information gets leaked online, just another way Surfshark keeps you protected. And I got a special treat for you. If you want to try out Surfshark, use my code THUNDERZOLT, link in the description, and get an extra 4 months free, and with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's literally no risk to it. Surfshark has really leveled up my online experience, so I want to thank them again for sponsoring this video. Ultimately, this decision paid off, because when they went to rematch Lieutenant Surge, Pikachu was like a different Pokemon, outspeeding Raichu all day long, making him confused, and eventually being able to knock him out, getting his revenge. Ash and Pikachu were so proud of this, being able to win by being themselves, but the issue of Pikachu evolving comes up a lot more in future Pokemon episodes. Periodically, trainers would come up to Ash asking him why doesn't he evolve as Pikachu, and Ash and Pikachu would always tell them the same thing, that they're comfortable with Pikachu being a Pikachu. This stayed true for multiple seasons, all the way up until the Sinnoh Saga. One day, Ash and the gang were chilling, and Pikachu and Piplup went on a stroll in the woods. They ended up encountering a Pichu, which was owned by this electric-type Pokemon master. This trainer instantly took a liking to Pikachu and wanted to capture him, and Ash came in the middle of all this commotion, and the trainer got mad at Ash, saying that he should piss off since he found the Pikachu first. Ash gets pretty mad at him, letting him know that Pikachu is his Pokemon and he's not a wild one. We end up learning this trainer's name is Sho, and he offers to trade Ash a bunch of Pokemon for this Pikachu, and this just ends up pissing Ash off a lot more. Brock ends up asking Sho why does he even want Pikachu so badly, and Sho lets us know that he just wants a full evolution set. Ash ends up thinking that Sho is crazy, and Sho starts talking trash to Ash, letting him know that he thinks he's a weak trainer and he would be better with the Pikachu anyways, and this absolutely set Ash off. I have never seen him get this mad against a trainer who he just met. Ash just hates everything about Sho, and he challenges him to a battle. Sho says he'll only do the battle if the winner ends up keeping Pikachu. Ash obviously doesn't agree to these conditions since he already owns Pikachu, and that should be it, right? The battle just ends there, and Ash goes off with Pikachu. And let's be for real, who would even do a battle under these stupid conditions anyways? So the battle begins with Pikachu versus Raichu with everything on the line. Pikachu went in to use a Thunderbolt, but Raichu stood there menacingly and completely tanked it. Pikachu wanted to stand on business, so him and Raichu did a Volt Tackle collide. At first, it looked like they did equal damage. Raichu got up, nonchalantly standing up on his feet, but Pikachu ended up getting flung into a bunch of rocks, barely being able to stand up. Ash, being in panic mode, thought the old trick they used against Lieutenant Surge about Pikachu being faster would work here, so he told Pikachu to use Quick Attack, but that BS did not work because Raichu just tanked it. Sho ended up telling Raichu to finish him off by using Hyper Beam, an attack I didn't even know this rodent could learn. When Ash's Pikachu tried to run away, Raichu ended up choking him with his tail, pinning him against some rocks. Then the most disrespectful Pokemon scene I've seen to date happened. Raichu blasted Pikachu with the Hyper Beam, completely knocking him to the ground. Then when Pikachu could barely get up and his vision was hazy, Raichu was overtowering him, completely disrespecting Pikachu, making Raichu be his last vision until Pikachu knocked out. Ash completely lost the battle. Sho ends up telling Ash how trash he thinks he is, and now it's time to trade up his Pikachu. Ash obviously says he is not trading his Pikachu and he does not care what Sho says, and Sho and Raichu said they don't even want the Pikachu anyway since he's this weak. Sho and Raichu continue to trash talk Ash while they walked away. Then when you thought it couldn't get any worse, just listen who jumps into the mix.
He was right. You were pathetic.
It's Paul!
This man, Paul, was just stalking the battle from a distance, waiting for Ash to lose so he could trash talk him in the end. Paul ends up telling Ash that he thinks that he needs to evolve Pikachu ASAP or he'll never beat the Raichu and learn Hyper Beam. Then Paul just ends up instantly dipping and walking away, just being Ash's biggest hater. While Ash is pondering all this, Brock's dumbass starts telling Ash that he actually should evolve Pikachu since he can't learn Hyper Beam, even though Brock was with Ash and knowing why Pikachu doesn't want to evolve, so I think the writers kind of forgot this. While they're discussing all this, Pikachu ended up passing out and needing to go to the hospital, so this Raichu really did a number on him. Raichu beat Pikachu so badly where he even needed surgery from Nurse Joy and getting PTSD, and his heart rate ended up spiking everywhere. Ash even started crying thinking Pikachu wasn't gonna make it, but in the end he ended up pulling through, but I didn't know it was this deep. Ash ends up having a pretty tough conversation with Pikachu, letting him know that he's kept the Thunderstone all the way back from the Kanto region that Nurse Joy gave him, and if Pikachu wants to evolve into a Raichu, he can do it. He'll leave the Thunderstone by his bedside, and Pikachu Pikachu can make that choice, since clearly they were struggling to win battles. And you know this situation is getting pretty bad when Team Rocket starts feeling bad for Pikachu. Late at night, Pikachu was staring at the Thunderstone and had to make his decision if he wanted to evolve, since he wants to become a strong Pokemon, but he also doesn't want to become the thing he hates, being a Raichu. Later that night, Ash came into Pikachu's room and he was completely missing, and the Thunderstone was also gone too. Ash and the gang went searching for Pikachu, but Ash was so devastated. Since he didn't care if Pikachu wanted to evolve into a Raichu, it's the fact that him and Pikachu do everything together, and the fact that Pikachu went off into the woods to go evolve on his own made Ash super sad. In the forest, while they were looking, they ended up seeing a beam of light coming from the distance, so they went to that location. When Ash finally arrived, he saw his Pokemon, Pikachu, practicing the move Volt Tackle, trying to improve, and Ash was so happy that he didn't evolve and was just trying to get stronger. We end up learning the people that actually stole the Thunderstone was Team Rocket, but they weren't being ops today, they were trying to help Ash and Pikachu get stronger so they can beat the Raichu. Pikachu lets Ash know once and for all that he always wants to stay a Pikachu, and Ash is happy about this, and they end up training some more and rematch the Raichu. When they meet up with Sho again, Ash starts talking so much trash because they're so confident they'll win. Pikachu was so fast that Raichu's Iron Tail could not hit him, and Pikachu and Raichu collided using a Volt Tackle. But Ash's Pikachu was a lot different today because he broke the rules of anime by combining Iron Tail and Volt Tackle together to have an ultimate attack. This pushed Raichu back, so he wanted to use his ultimate move, Hyper Beam, but then Ash's Pikachu dodged the initial grab, stole the energy from the Hyper Beam, jumped up in the sky, and used an ultimate Iron Tail attack. And honestly, today Pikachu is just freestyling, making up whatever BS he wants to win this battle, but in the end it ended up working and Ash ended up becoming the winner. Now you would think after all these major events, Pikachu wouldn't have the opportunity to evolve again since his plotline's dead, but you would be so wrong. In a Pokemon episode in the Black and White season, when Ash and the gang are chilling, a completely random trainer just thinks Pikachu wants to evolve, so he throws a Thunderstone at Pikachu. Obviously, Ash acts quickly and jumps in the way and blocks the Thunderstone, but just imagine if Pikachu evolved from something as silly as this. But after all this being said and done, there is still one more main time in the Pokemon anime where Pikachu almost evolved, and that was in Pokemon Journeys. At the beginning of this episode, Go tells Ash that he wants to catch a Pikachu and add one to his collection, so they end up heading to a valley where a bunch of Pikachu normally are at, and Go ends up catching a female Pikachu. This Pikachu started vibing really well with Ash's Pikachu, and they looked like a super great pair. They were sharing food together, messing around with their trainers, and it was overall a really good vibe. They ended up going deeper into the valley, and they realized there was a Pikachu outbreak. And a bunch of Pikachus were digging, looking for something. They were looking for a Thunderstone, since this mountain is rich with Thunderstones, and a bunch of Pikachu started evolving into Raichus once they found their Thunderstone. Ghost Pikachu ends up digging and finds a Thunderstone, and here we learn Ghost Pikachu is a menace, since Ghost Pikachu started chasing our Pikachu around trying to force him to evolve, and this is the type of peer pressure your parents would have talked about back in the day. No, seriously, Ghost Pikachu would not give up and was trying to force our Pikachu to take drugs. They ended up getting chased behind a rock, and the light started glowing of evolution, and when the Pokemon came out, it was Raichu. Ash was actually really shocked since he knew Pikachu didn't want to evolve, and now he seemingly evolved into a Raichu. He really didn't know what to say at all, but luckily in the distance we ended up learning that Ghost Pikachu is still chasing Ash's Pikachu, and that this was just a random Pikachu that evolved into a Raichu. Ash ends up telling Ghost Pikachu that our Pikachu really doesn't want to evolve, and they've thought through this a lot, and Pikachu just wants to stay a Pikachu. We end up learning that Ghost Pikachu doesn't even want to evolve into a Raichu anyway, so she was just trying to set up our boy and watch him suffer from the background. So Pikachu should really watch out for this one. Funny enough, minutes later, Ghost Pikachu ends up getting captured and they throw the Thunderstone in the machine and it ends up evolving into a Raichu anyways, so I guess it's picking its own poison. Ultimately, in the end, Ash was pretty happy since his Pikachu didn't evolve from this whole ordeal, and Go was pretty happy since he has a new strong Pokemon. And speaking of strong Pokemon, I actually made a video ranking all of Ash's Fire-type Pokemon from weakest to strongest, which I think you'll really enjoy, so just click the video on your screen and maybe